not least, we welcome Dr. Rabbi Michael Marmur to finish us off.
It is customary that the fourth speaker in such a debate pays some attention to the remarks of the opposition. Rabbi Kelman mentioned that my learned colleague had not mentioned chocolate chips. I'm sorry if we hurt your feelings. And I think I would say to Dr. Duman that you kind of gave us the debate in the first couple of seconds when you could not be heard. Thus, I think, the crucial significance of ears. I'm just saying. Just think about it for a moment. But I want to argue from a number of different philosophical perspectives for the primacy of the Oznei Haman or the Hamentaschen as opposed to the Latke. By the way, I'm a reasonable person. I think that I'm prepared to come to some kind of historic compromise. One day a week we could privilege. Friday, perhaps, that was the obvious. I want you to consider that the Oznei Haman represent pluralism not just because of the multiplicity of fillings. It was amusing to hear Rabbi Kelman find 17 different ways to say potato as she was giving the various suggestions. But the pluralism inherent in Oznei Haman is, of course, not only in the fillings, but in the notion of the ear. One thinks of the famous Midrash, according to which God speaks, and God's voice splits into 70 different voices, based on the verse from the book of Psalms, Kol Adonai B'koach. We are all able to hear the divine voice with the ears that we have, with our own particular perceptive equipment. The ear is quintessentially a symbol of pluralism. Now I want to say something, as my learned colleague on the other side, Dr. Duman, did, concerning the etymology of the Hamentaschen. We call it in Hebrew Oznei Haman, but that's not the origin of the term. Linguists suggest that there was in medieval Germany a dish known not only to Jews but to non-Jews as well, known as the Marmur. Morn is a poppy. A Hamentaschen literally means a poppy pocket. It was a little snack where poppies, that was in the essence of the name, was served, and it was a delicacy. In the Jewish imagination, and thanks to the influence of the Yiddish language, Hamentaschen became Hamentaschen. And it became a delicacy associated with the festival of Purim. How then, if Hamentaschen is Haman's pockets, did it become in Hebrew Oznei Haman, Haman's ears? Nobody knows for sure, but I want to suggest a possible line of investigation. In the Babylonian Talmud, we come across the expression Aseh oznecha ka'afal chesed. Make. Now, think about the poppy for a moment. What a tremendous symbol. Those like my learned colleague and myself, who grew up under the influence of Great Britain, will notice that most people in these days, these actual days, have been walking around wearing poppies, because the poppy in Britain is the symbol of remembrance. It's the symbol of memory. In my experience in North America, the poppy tends to symbolize sometimes the loss of memory or altered and enhanced states of consciousness. But any way you look at it, it's a strong symbol, is what I'm trying to say. Now, as a Reform Jew, I want to explain why I am in favor of Oznei Haman. Now, some would argue that in its early years under classical reform, it is true, and I'm pleased that the other side didn't mention it, that the Pittsburgh platform of 1888 did come out in favor of the Latke, but then one has to recall that those were different times, and since then, the later declarations of reform principles, one thinks of the Columbus platform, which is clearly Hamentaschen is all over that document, at least my copy of that document. Now, when one thinks also of sister denominations, you know, the Reconstructionists for a while did toy with the power that makes for latkes. That's true. That was a Kaplanian idea. But I can only think of some of the more obvious references in other movements. Of course, one thinks of Heschel's masterwork, God in Search of Oznei Haman. Now, if you reflect on what the other side of this debate have told you, all you need to know about the rightness of our cause is there. Another meaning of the word latka is a fritter. That's exactly what that argument does. It fritters away the time in trivialities. You have to ask yourself the question, do you come out in favor of Esther or cholesterol? And I would leave you with this thought. Would you rather vote for a word, a latka, which has in its heart the word attack, or for Hamentaschen, which has at its heart the word mensch? Thank you very much.